It's truly getting everyone to where we want to be and go. And that's just, we all want to be respected. We all want to be affirmed. We all want to be included.
That's
So
right.
let's start the conversation there. And then we have these 8 habits of how we practice it. We spend a lot of time on courage because you have to have some courageous conversations.
Yes, go through the habits quickly with
Yeah,
me.
so
Yes, that would be
habits,
great.
the habits, nurturing attitude,
Uh-huh.
within the school framework or in a work or in a corporate environment, or if you're a leader, how are
Mhm.
you nurturing your students? How are you nurturing your team?
Mhm.
That falls into that affirmation component.
Yes.
What does it look like for you to be nurtured? And we do
Yes.
some cool activities to help people remind why the habit of nurturing is so important and valued. The second habit, responsibility. Because if you're going to practice R.A.I, you've got to be responsible. You have tasks to do. You have time commitments to meet. If you're not meeting those, you're not being very respectful of the organization or
Yes.
your team or your committee. Dependability. Are you being dependable as a team member? And what does that look like for your students? How are you, as a teacher, as an administrator, how are you being dependable for your teachers? As a corporate
Mhm.
leader, how are you being dependable for your team?
Yes.
Friendship. So in schools we talk about, you don't have to be best friends with students to be friends, but friendship is needed. We
Yes.
do better if we're around people we like, people we know. If you know nothing about me, you're afraid of me.
Mhm.
And there's no trust. And we know organizations grow at the speed of trust. So we practice the habit of friendship. And then we get into brotherhood, sisterhood. Practicing brotherhood, sisterhood is this idea of extending the table. Hey, let's go to lunch. We don't listen to the same music. We don't go to the same type of church. We don't even have the same political beliefs. But we can go to lunch and we can break bread. So that's what brotherhood, sisterhood is about, is this idea of extending the table. And then you have high expectations. So having high expectations is a firm, one, you believe that I'm capable. Because you believe I'm capable, you're including me in the process.
Mm.
It's an inclusive practice. High expectations, believing that all students have the capability. Believing that your son's friends, people he know that are smart are getting the upper table. They're being brotherhood, sisterhood, and high expectations being practiced because someone is reaching out to this student who does not fit the traditional AP look.
Yes.
Then you have courage, and
Mhm.
that's where we have some really deep conversations. What does R.A.I look like for everyone in our organization?
Mm.
What
That's
does
good.
affirmation look like for everyone in our organization? So in schools, I can begin having conversations about, the curriculum. How are your students included in the curriculum? If they never see themselves from kindergarten to 12th grade, 13 years of education, they never see anything positive about themselves, how is that affirming on them? And now you're
Right.
expecting them to be something better that you're not showing them.
Right.
Then there's hope, the last one. R.A.I is all about hope, future, preparing in terms of our students, preparing the future ambassadors of our society.
Yes.
The hope that they can continue and make our world a better place, as well as for new employees going into corporate and other organizations. So those are the 8 habits. So we start off with building a sense of community, and then once we build a sense of community and remind people it's okay to talk with each other and
Yes.
have conversations, then we go into R.A.I and what that looks like in practice. And then once we understand R.A.I, we then go into the 8 habits, and we delve deep in our trainings. The way we implement the trainings, we always we want to look at the subject, the words, the topic, the meaning, but we look at an external example of the impact of that habit, and then we bring people together for dialogue. It may be group work, it may be an activity, and then we close out with a self-reflection. So there's always time for self-reflection, and we ask people to commit to one way they can implement, whether it be respect, affirm, include, or one of the habits. So that's an overview of R.A.I and the 8 habits and the work we do in schools and in corporate settings and higher education.